The strangest thing my mother-in-law ever gave me was an old house key. She put it in my hand and said, "Keep this. You'll need it someday." Then she looked me straight in the eye. "But whatever you do, don't open the garage." Naturally, I wanted to know why. My name is Tessa Whitmore. And this happened after my husband, Nolan Whitmore, and I moved into his mother's old house in Pennsylvania. His mother, Marjorie Whitmore, had moved into a smaller apartment after deciding the house was too much for her. A week before we moved in, she handed me the key. I laughed. "Okay, now I'm definitely curious." She didn't laugh. "Promise me." So I did. For the first few months, I barely thought about it. The garage was packed with old boxes anyway, and Marjorie still had a few belongings stored inside. Then one Saturday, I was cleaning the hallway when I noticed an envelope sticking out from underneath, a loose floorboard near the garage door. It had my husband's name on it. I called Nolan. "Did your mom leave something here for you?" He opened the envelope. Inside was an old property tax receipt and a handwritten note from Marjorie. Nolan read it twice. Then he looked at me. She never told me this. The note explained that years earlier, when Nolan's father was struggling financially, Marjorie had quietly taken a second job and used her savings to keep the house from being sold. But there was more. The garage wasn't just storage. Marjorie's old woodworking equipment was still inside. She had spent years making furniture there and selling pieces to help pay the mortgage. She had stopped after Nolan's father died because she couldn't bear being in the garage anymore. Nolan finally called his mother. "Mom, why didn't you tell me?" There was a long silence. Then Marjorie said, "Because I didn't want you thinking I saved that house for you." She wanted him to understand that she'd made those sacrifices because she wanted to keep her family together, not because she expected anything in return. The next weekend, we asked her to come over. She unlocked the garage herself. Inside were shelves of handmade furniture, old tools, and dozens of unfinished pieces. Nolan stood there quietly. Then he hugged his mother. "I thought you were hiding something bad." She laughed softly. "No, I was hiding something I was proud of." We eventually cleaned the garage together. Marjorie kept the key, and I finally understood why she'd made me promise not to open that door. Some doors aren't locked because there's something terrible behind them. Sometimes they're locked because there's a memory someone isn't ready to share. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe for more realistic family stories and tell me, would you have respected Marjorie's request? Or would curiosity have won?